Another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. Welcome back to all of you returning listeners and to any new listeners out there. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are going to take some time to dive into a little bit more of an emotional topic within ag. And you guys know that I love to talk about hard things and talk about things that maybe not everyone else is covering and just really do some great thought-provoking exercises with you guys and different things like that. So today we are diving into the question, is ranching still a calling, or is it just becoming another enterprise, another business model? What does that look like for all of us? Some say that ranching is just a business now, but for many of us, it still runs much, much deeper than that. Runs way deeper than dollars and cents on a piece of paper. So today we are going to dive into that tension of, is ranching still a calling, or has it become just another enterprise on the docket? So diving straight in for you guys, here's the reality of it, right? Ranching is a business, and I will die on that hill. Okay. Like, that is something, you guys know me at this point. I honestly, like, if there was a drinking game of take a shot every time Lauren says something about the fact that ranching is a business and you need to treat your ranch like a business, we'd all be screwed, because I say it all the time. I say this all the time. The reality of it is, our ranches are businesses, and we have got to treat our ranches like businesses. There's things like rising input costs that we're dealing with. We're dealing with fluctuating markets. We're dealing with land values, taxes, labor changes, all of these really big things, right? That are very important to functioning businesses. There's also a big importance of needing to have really great teams and systems behind us to make these functioning businesses, right? And we've talked about this before. Things like data systems where you can track all of your herd numbers and where everyone is and what everyone's doing and vaccinations and all of that. Things like tracking cash flow, your profit, your expenses, all of that. You need to have succession plans. You need to have strategic marketing. You need to have all of these things that are very, very business focused, which is important, right? We need to be treating our businesses, our ranches, like businesses. But there is also the aspect of, at the end of the day, are we able to sit here and run a ranch if we don't have heart behind it? My answer is no. If my heart was not in this, if my why was not established, if I didn't have the passion and the part of my soul that is connected to this operation, I wouldn't care. Like, I genuinely would look at those numbers during our down years and be like, why in the hell are we doing this? Like, this does not make sense financially as a business. And that's the reality of it some years. Some years you're going to look at your finances and you're going to go have that meeting with the accountant and you're going to be scratching your head saying, what in the world are we doing wrong? What bad side of the coin did we flip on? Because A and B are not equaling C right now, right? And that's the reality of it. And so, yes, we all need to be treating our ranches like businesses. But at the end of the day, we wouldn't be able to sit here and run our ranches well, efficiently, with heart, with soul, if there wasn't still a calling behind it. Numbers only tell part of the story. What is your why behind the work that you're doing? A lot of you have that multi-generational, embedded, soul-deep passion for ranching, the legacy that you're leaving, the livestock that you take care of, and just honestly, the pride of feeding the world, of feeding people within the states and abroad is a big part of whys for a lot of people. For many of you, ranching is not just an income, it is an identity. You look at yourself, when you introduce yourself to people, you say, I am a rancher. And that's amazing. I want to identify that way. I never want that to stop being a way we identify ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we need to bridge both worlds. We need to be able to look at this enterprise that we are running and say, yes, I need to treat it like a business, but professionalism does not erase passion. Looking at your business from a strategic mindset does not take away your heart and soul behind that operation. I look at my small businesses, as someone who can't say no and has a million of them. And I look at them and I have so much heart, soul, and passion behind them. Like they bring me so much joy. And I know that's the same way for a lot of you with your operations. And because of that joy that it brings me, I show up every single day with a fire underneath me that could not be artificial or made from anything other than my heart and soul and passion behind it. And the fact that I love what I'm doing. And I know so many of you do too. So we need to find a happy marriage between the two, between acknowledging that I love what I'm doing. I have so much soul, passion, heart, and drive to do this, but also I'm going to be professional in my business. I am going to have a savvy business plan. And so what does this look like in practice? Sometimes it might look like maybe once a week after dinner, you're doing weekly business meetings, or before breakfast, or whatever day works best for you guys, whatever time, you're implementing weekly business meetings into an aspect of your life where it makes sense right now. Maybe for some of you, you are splitting your days between working on having that sound business plan and implementing new things and doing those data-driven aspects and research. Maybe you're spending 2 hours once a week dedicated to that part of your business while still working in your business. Because here's the thing, you cannot work on your business while you are working in your business. I'm going to say that again. You cannot work on your business while you are working in your business. So what does that look like? It looks like you need to separate yourself from the everyday actions that we need to do to be able to keep these ranches running every once in a while and say, how can I work on my business? How can I allow myself to continue to show up for this passion and drive and amazing thing that we have and continue to grow it and set it up for future success? Because we want these ranches to be successful. We are seeing more and more family operations being lost every single year. And a lot of that goes down to business basics of how are those operations being run? Are they being run with that heart, soul, and drive behind them, but then also that savvy business acumen? Because both of those are important. You can't have a successful ranching operation, in my opinion, without both of them. And even if some of you may get in the comments or say something like, okay, what about these really, really large ranches that thousands upon thousands of acres, hundreds of employees, all of this stuff? I would argue that the people that are still doing that day-to-day work still have that heart, soul, and drive that they are then bringing up to the people that have that business acumen, right? So it just looks different for different operations. For some people, it might be one person that is bringing that heart, soul, and that business together. For others, it may be 2 individuals that are bringing it together. For some, it may be 20 individuals that are making that bridge and bridging that gap. The reality of it is, at the end of the day, we need both. We need this to continue to be an operation where we have heart, soul, and drive behind it. So yes, ranching is a business, but for many of us, it is still a calling, a responsibility that has been handed down to us with so much love and pride. And maybe the future of this industry really just depends on us honoring both sides. Let that sink in for a little bit. Maybe the future of this industry just means us honoring both sides of that coin. That we need the business, but we also need that heart, soul, and legacy. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. That is all I have to say on this today. I wanted this to be a little bit of a emotional one that really just kind of gets us thinking about new ways to approach this, and the fact that ranching is very much still a calling, but it is still a business, and we need to find that bridge and gap between the two. So thank you guys so much again for listening to another episode. Please like, subscribe, rate, review if you enjoyed this episode. I really appreciate it. And we will see you all tomorrow on another one. Have a good one, y'all.